Hello and welcome back to the FPL Tom YouTube channel. In today's video we're going to take a look at the best wildcard ahead of Game Week 9. If you did manage to kind of avoid the urge and not wildcard in Game Week 8, then this is the best video for you. If you do enjoy the content that you see on the channel, please like, comment and subscribe, as we are trying to hit 750 subs before the end of September. Big goal, but I do believe we can do it. I am having to re-record this intro as kind of the camera failed mid-recording, so I don't know where it starts, where it stops. So yeah, apologies about that one. So you won't get to see my beautiful face throughout the wildcard, but please show your support down in the comments and with the like button. But yeah, that's enough waffle from me. Let's get into my Game Week 9 wildcard draft. And to start off our wildcard, we start off with Danny Ward in goal. And before you write in the comments, yes, I know Danny Ward's just conceded 6 tonight, but hear me out on this one. It's kind of a double up, as I've been doing with kind of my goalkeeper pairings. In my Game Week 8 wildcard, I did one, and in my Game Week 9 one, we're doing one as well. We've got Danny Ward and Gaeta. Gaeta is the main long-term goalkeeper. Danny Ward is kind of this 1 week punt against Nottingham Forest. He does also take on Bournemouth in Game Week 10 as well, so if you do want to kind of keep him, then there is that option as well. But Gaeta is the more long-term option. Obviously in Game Week 9 he does play Chelsea, but after watching Leicester just absolutely get carved apart by Spurs, it wouldn't surprise me as well if Leicester fail to keep another clean sheet as well. So I wouldn't blame you going for Gaeta for Game Week 9. That's the main reason. We're going to go Gaeta long term. They've got Chelsea this week. Then after that, Leeds, Leicester, Wolves, Everton, Southampton, West Ham and Nottingham Forest. Amazing long term fixtures up until the World Cup, when obviously we get unlimited transfers again. So I think Gaeta is the main goalkeeper to go for. Danny Ward is kind of just in the team at the moment as just like the 1 week option, but after watching today's performance, I wouldn't blame you going for Gaeta as well. Potentially could get some kind of save points, maybe even a clean sheet. You know, Chelsea haven't been the best team going forward, and it looks like Graham Potter's also kind of struggling with the hangover of Tuchel as well, in terms of getting that Chelsea side attacking. So definitely could be an option just to go Gaeta and bin off Ward, because Jesus Christ, he's terrible, isn't he? And so are the Leicester defence, so I wouldn't blame you at that point. But moving into the back line, we do obviously move to Reece James, similar to kind of Gaeta. Amazing long-term fixtures: Crystal Palace, Wolves, Aston Villa, Brentford, Man United, Brighton, Arsenal and Newcastle. Obviously, Chelsea are going to have that new manager bounce as well, working with Graham Potter. The things that I really like to see about Reece James as well is from the Champions League game against RB Salzburg, I think it is, who they played. Could be wrong on that one, but yeah, leave it in the comments if I am, but I think I'm right. And was so high, so aggressive as well. And it's something that we've come to see over the past few years with Graham Potter's fullbacks as well, pressed up so high in really good attacking positions. And when you've got one of the best right backs within the league playing that high up each week, amazing long-term fixtures, that makes absolute sense to me. I definitely think the double Chelsea defence could be on at some point. He really likes Cucurella as well, got a strong relationship with him. So I am kind of potentially maybe looking at kind of swapping out Trippier when Newcastle's fixtures do get a little bit more difficult for the Cucurella and James double up, because that could be absolutely explosive if Graham Potter can get that kind of 3 at the back, 5 at the back system fully functioning for Chelsea. But yeah, speaking of Kieran Trippier, let's move on to him. Obviously, it wasn't the best performance from Newcastle today. A 1-1 draw with Bournemouth, but Trippier involved in absolutely everything. All the play was going down that right-hand side. He was constantly getting crosses in, on set pieces, on free kicks. Absolutely amazing. Got himself an assist as well for the penalty in the end, and I think that was fully deserved with his performance today. Lots of crosses, absolutely tons of them. Absolute bonus point magnet as well for doing that. So I definitely think he will be coming away with a few more attacking returns. Fixtures are good for the next few as well: Fulham, Brentford, Manchester United, Everton, Tottenham, Aston Villa and Southampton. So I think he's definitely worth the hold. I don't think it's worth the Newcastle double up kind of after the Bournemouth game's gone. I think today it showed that they are kind of defensively frail. They are open to opportunities. They're not a top team. So I definitely think it's not worth kind of the Newcastle double up, but I do believe Kieran Trippier is the one to go for. And like I said, when he does get that Man U and Tottenham games within a 3-week game week span, it definitely could be maybe worth going for a Cucurella, or there might be other options emerging at that time. But very good to see. But I'm a little bit concerned about Newcastle's form as well. Only 1 win so far this season, so questions have got to be asked. So I don't think the Newcastle double up or triple up is definitely on in game week 9. Moving on to another very attacking fullback, it is João Cancelo, currently the highest scoring defender. City have amazing XG conceded, like an expected clean sheets. It's a real no-brainer. You've got to have a City kind of defender within your team. João Cancelo is the best one. His underlying data within the Premier League has been very smelly. 0.22 XG and 0.36 expected goals, but within the Champions League, he's a different beast. Sevilla, absolutely amazing, and then Dortmund, that cross he did with the outside of his boot, honestly, it was mesmerising to watch, absolutely fantastic. City's fixtures aren't the best coming up: Man United, Southampton, Liverpool, Arsenal, Brighton, Leicester, Fulham and Brentford, but the way City are playing at times, I do think just having these City assets in, even when the fixtures gets tough, is very no-brainer. Really good fixtures. The United game as well will be very interesting to see. Obviously, both teams kind of coming into it with a little bit of form from Manchester United, and then City just being City, really, winning games. So another good Manchester derby on the cards there. Really like having João Cancelo within our team. The final defender, yep, a little bit of a weird one, a little bit of a differential one. Mainly for me, he's kind of a bit of a placeholder for Trent Alexander-Arnold. This team, I think, has 1.5 million in the bank, so that's kind of where we're trying to look at, or potentially moving Soufal to a Cucurella or a Fofana if he starts to play. There are obviously a lot of other options, but I kind of like West Ham's next 3 fixtures: Wolves, Fulham, Southampton, then they take on Liverpool, but after that it is Bournemouth, Man United and Crystal Palace. So yeah, a little bit of a placeholder for him. Obviously, just make sure that he does play against Everton today when this video will be released. So just make sure he does play. If Emerson plays, I think he could be the better option to go for. Both of them not really putting up amazing underlying data for their fullback positions, but if Emerson is playing week in, week out, you do save yourself an extra 0.4 million. And in game week 9, they take on Wolves, who are currently the lowest scoring team in the league with only 3 goals scored. Very dismal from Wolves. I said this last season, and I said it at the start of the season, I think Wolves could potentially be kind of relegation fodder. You know, they've always got kind of this reputation of being a good defence, but attacking wise, they just honk. And Diego Costa is definitely not the answer to all their kind of issues. So yeah, I do think I expect kind of West Ham to keep a clean sheet in that one. But that was the back line. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments below. But let's move on to the midfield within this side. And moving on to the midfield, we start with Jarrod Bowen. Again, this one is very much a question mark at the moment. Just wait and see how West Ham get on against Everton. Wait and see how Jarrod Bowen performs. But it does look like he's potentially on penalties. We saw how much of an amazing beast he was last year. Obviously going to be playing for kind of his England place as well, as he didn't get called up for the England squad. So he's got to show Gareth Southgate something. And with the West Ham fixtures being the way that they are, he definitely could. I think if he doesn't turn it on, obviously we spoke about Crystal Palace's amazing fixtures, you could easily switch him out to Zaha, save yourself around 0.9 million, I want to say, if you do that. So if he doesn't turn it on, there is obviously that easy switch to Zaha, but we want to be kind of attacking and targeting good fixtures. Bowen does have that. He does have that explosivity, and Moyes definitely said that in a press conference. He said that he was kind of getting back to his best, the old Bowen, the Bowen that we're all used to seeing. So that is very interesting to see if a manager's saying that. Might be just to boost his confidence, who knows, but it does look like he's potentially on penalties, good fixtures coming up, and easily swappable for Zaha if he doesn't turn it on. The next man in the team, very Controversial this one, and I think you potentially could go without him for a few game weeks. It is Mohamed Salah. Brighton up next, and this is why I've included him. I think Liverpool could start returning back to their best with players now coming back to full fitness. Thiago, you got Matip coming back as well, Jota as well. Nunez is back from his ban but hasn't quite hit the same heights, but all these players starting to come back, I think will make Trent a lot better of a player. So far this season, 2 goals, 3 assists, 38 points scored. I always like to have 2 premiums within my side as well. I think Son, after today's performance, has definitely put himself within contention, but that Brighton fixture is very appetising. Liverpool don't lose a lot of games at home in any season, regardless of how they're playing. Brighton are currently managerless, and it looks like that trend could potentially go on. I imagine they'll have that sorted kind of by the end of the international window, but who knows? You never know with football. And I think potentially the new manager Liverpool away, very, very difficult fixture. I do expect Liverpool to definitely show kind of an upbeat in their performance after kind of the international break, and that's why we've gone for Salah. But I think you could go without him till around game week 12. The fixtures aren't amazing. Brighton, Arsenal and Manchester City. Salah, he's got to turn it on. He's got to start turning it on and show why he's, worth that 12.9 million in our teams, because currently it's not quite there, and I definitely think you could potentially go without him. Let me know what your thoughts are to do with Mohamed Salah. If you've waited till game week 9, I imagine you've still got him within your team. So yeah, just let me know what your kind of plans are with Salah. Moving on to the final midfielder, it is James Maddison, a man I owned this week and very happily owned him this week as well. Goal against Spurs, could have easily scored another, getting plenty of assists, and it did see kind of that all the balls, all the plays were coming through Maddison, involved in absolutely everything, on set pieces as well. Nottingham Forest look absolutely shambolic at times. It looks like Steve Cooper potentially could get sacked, Brendan Rodgers could get sacked as well. That could be the sacking derby for that week. But Leicester have some really good fixtures. So Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, Crystal Palace, Leeds, Wolves, Manchester City, Everton and West Ham. So he's an easy hold till the World Cup, and he's absolutely showed today why he should be in our squads. On free kicks, on set pieces, he's absolutely the kind of talisman figure within that kind of Leicester side. That's what I kind of like to look for at the moment. That's kind of the vibe I'm going for this season, is when I'm picking players from lesser clubs, so not your Cities, your Liverpool, your Spurs, I want to be going for the key players who are going to be on set pieces, who are the kind of the talismanic figures within their side. You can go to that side and you can go, yeah, it's him I want, it's him I like, it's him involved in absolutely everything. And James Maddison is that for Leicester. Similar with Bowen, if he's on penalties as well, will be that man for West Ham. These are the guys that are going to get the goals, are usually on the score sheet, are usually involved in kind of somewhat of the build-up play around the goal. So that's kind of the vibe I'm going for this season. Aim for talismanic figures, and it kind of is doing all right for me so far. We will see how it kind of gets on as the season progresses, but that was the midfield. Let's move on to the front line within our side. Haaland is the man to start off the front line. Was it going to be anyone else? No, of course, absolutely Mr. Inevitable at the moment. I've started calling him Thanos because honestly, he's just inevitable. He clicks his fingers and there is a goal. Absolutely battered Gandhi today with the early kickoff. You can't back the early kickoff. Haaland proved that. Goal for him in the early kickoff. The 6 million managers who captained him were rewarded. Obviously, if you went Kane like me, smart player, you did actually outperform him, but it's still another return for Haaland. That's 99 games for him with 100 goals. Like, this man is honestly, he's just a joke. Honestly, absolutely amazing player. The fixtures aren't amazing for City coming up, but in game week 10, captain material. Southampton at home, honestly, absolutely gagging for that one. Yeah, amazing player. Obviously, he's just been killing it recently. I'm really blessed that I got the opportunity to go watch him in the week against Borussia Dortmund, where he scored an amazing goal. But it's more to his game as well that you don't see on the telly when you go watch him live. The movement, the positions that he's getting into. You can see that hunger, that desire to score. Even when he's winning 3-0, he still wants to get on the score sheet, still wants to absolutely batter records. And obviously there's been kind of this narrative around him being rested or rotated. It's just not kind of happening at the moment, is it? He seems kind of integral, and maybe at the start of the season Pep was a little bit concerned with his injuries and kind of how they'd have to manage him throughout the season, but it seems like he's keeping himself fit. He's obviously potentially maybe doing something different at City than he was at Dortmund, and just looking after himself a little bit better as well. It doesn't look like at games he's overexerting himself as well. So potentially he could be a perma captain for every single week. And I honestly would not blame you, because he's absolutely amazing player. But let's move on to another fantastic player. It is Ivan Toney. So far this season, 5 goals, 2 assists on penalties, and can also apparently just slap a free kick. Absolutely wonderful free kick against Leeds in kind of the last game week he did play. Obviously this has been being filmed before the Arsenal game. England call up as well, so he's got something to prove to Gareth Southgate now. Good, amazing fixtures up until the World Cup. If he can keep smashing in the goals, he'll definitely be on the plane to Qatar. Bournemouth, Newcastle, Brighton, Chelsea, Aston Villa, Wolves and Nottingham Forest. I've spoken length this season about Ivan Toney and my love for this man. Again, very similar with the talismanic theory. I really like him. He's kind of the main man for Brentford. If they're looking for a goal, they'll go to him. He's on the penalties. He just suits that down to the ground. Moving on to the final forward, and it is Mitrovic. Been really good since rejoining the Premier League. Obviously, everyone brought him in kind of last week for the Nottingham Forest fixture, and it didn't quite go to plan, but still had plenty of opportunities, plenty of shots as well. And I do think on another day, he could have easily scored 1 or 2 goals. 6 in 7 for Mitrovic on penalties as well, and had the most shots among FPL players so far this season, 31. That's 4 more than Erling Haaland as well. Good fixtures for Fulham as well coming up: Newcastle, West Ham, Bournemouth, Aston Villa, Leeds, Everton, Manchester City and Manchester United. Get it out in the end, at the end. But I think at that point there'll obviously be kind of a 2-game week punt player that we might go for, but Mitrovic has potentially proven that he is a little bit fixture proof. But before we finish, let's talk about the bench. Gaeta, obviously we spoke about at the start of the video. Patterson, I just don't fancy Forest or Nico Williams as an option that might have to play. Everton slightly look better at the back. It's very much kind of a clash of just 2 terrible teams at the back really there, but it's just a 4 million spot. Andreas, I thought he had actually a really, really good game against Nottingham Forest, getting involved in absolutely everything, but didn't score in the end. A lot of people already own him as well, so I think keep him for that one. And then the final midfielder, I've just put any 4.5 million midfielder, just anyone of your choice who to go for, because there wasn't really a standout option for me. So anyone that kind of tickles your pickle, I'd suggest you go for them. If you did enjoy the wildcard draft that I've built for Game Week 9, then please like, comment and subscribe. I do answer all comments down in the comments section below as well. So if you do have any questions, just let me know down there. Thanks for watching and good luck this game week.